GoPro was once one of the most hyped companies in the world. They revolutionized the internet with their action cameras, allowing thrill seekers to capture footage anytime, anywhere. The company surged to a peak valuation of $11 billion. But soon, they came crashing down. From a failed drone venture to a recent bankruptcy warning, it looks like GoPro is all but dead. But how did GoPro go from being the undisputed king of action cameras to being a relic of the 2010s? Let's get right into it. GoPro was founded in 2002 by entrepreneur Nick Woodman. As an avid surfer, he struggled to find a convenient way to record himself riding waves on his surfboard. Unsatisfied with the current cameras on the market, Woodman spent 2 years developing his own. Although Woodman likes to talk about how he sold seashell belts to support himself during this time, he also borrowed $200,000 from his wealthy father to build the company. Woodman's first camera, which was film-based, showed modest success. But soon, two new trends would supercharge growth. First, the rise of digital cameras made GoPros much easier to use and allowed them to capture higher quality video. But even more importantly, online video sites like YouTube allowed people to upload their GoPro footage and share it with people around the globe. This encouraged more people to buy cameras, so that they could capture their next viral stunt. Even better, many users even included GoPro in the title of their videos, boosting sales and brand recognition even further. Woodman essentially had a massive marketing team pushing his product across the internet for free. GoPro's early rise was the perfect combination of solid engineering mixed with amazing timing. GoPro grew exponentially throughout the 2000s and even secured a $200 million investment from Foxconn, valuing GoPro at $2.25 billion. The company was growing extremely quickly and generated $1 billion of revenue and $60 million of profit in 2013. Then, in 2014, the company prepared for a blockbuster IPO. On the first day of trading, the stock surged, and soon the company reached a peak valuation of $11 billion. But under these impressive numbers, GoPro's problems were already growing. On one end of the spectrum, cheap Chinese knockoffs started to attract price-conscious consumers away from GoPro. On the other end, smartphone cameras continued to improve and soon rivaled the capabilities of GoPros. While new competitors quietly began eating into GoPro's market share, Nick Woodman collected the highest compensation of a public company CEO, at $285 million per year. He used his newfound fortune to purchase mansions, a yacht, and even a private jet. Woodman also grew GoPro's headcount by 41% after its IPO. This was all while his competitors were focused on innovating and taking market share away from GoPro. When Woodman realized what was going on, he knew something drastic would have to be done. Little did he know, GoPro's next move would end in disaster. In 2015, GoPro released the Hero 4 Session. It was small, lightweight, and easy to use. The goal was to retarget casual consumers with the camera's simple one-button design. But there was a fatal problem. GoPro priced the Session at $399, which was the same price as their standard Hero 4. Why would someone pay the same amount for a camera with no touchscreen and fewer features? GoPro quickly slashed prices, and by December, the Session was selling for only $200. The Hero 4 Session was a huge failure, and the financials showed it. In Q4 of 2015, GoPro's revenue declined 31% and they posted a $35 million net loss. But while its core business was struggling, CEO Nick Woodman made some frankly bizarre moves. In 2015, GoPro announced that they were going to launch a standalone streaming service powered with GoPro footage. Some of the feature programs included Kids Save the World and New York Motorcycle Cops in Training. Woodman saw this as a way to transform the company from a hardware manufacturer into a diversified media company. However, GoPro's streaming venture never caught on and failed to generate any significant revenue. Meanwhile, smartphone cameras continued to improve and the competition intensified once phones became water resistant. GoPro announced a layoff of 15% of their staff and decided to venture into a new hardware field: drones. This seemed to make sense. GoPro was already famous for their action cameras, so launching a drone to capture more footage should work great. In late 2016, GoPro launched their Karma drone and sold 2,500 units in the first few weeks. But something was wrong. Reports soon showed that GoPro's drones had a defect that caused them to lose power mid-flight and fall out of the sky. Not only did this damage drones, but it posed a serious safety risk to anyone on the ground. GoPro recalled all of its drones and tried to fix the underlying problems. And while GoPro was fixing karma, DJI had already released the smaller and more capable Mavic Pro. Eventually, the competition became too much and GoPro closed its drone division as well. The company laid off another 20% of its workforce, and Nick Woodman took a $1 salary to show his commitment to turning the company around. But just when things looked over for GoPro, a new opportunity emerged. When GoPro realized that their core hardware business was being crushed by cheap knockoffs and high-quality smartphones, they decided to make another pivot. In addition to making money from selling cameras, they wanted to grow a software subscription business as well. Instead of relying entirely on unpredictable hardware upgrades, GoPro wanted to bundle the camera with a recurring subscription. GoPro's subscription offered cloud storage, editing tools, and product discounts. Instead of selling a camera once, GoPro wanted to turn that customer into a recurring source of revenue. And for a moment, it looked like this strategy was working. GoPro released their first subscription in 2016, but they didn't become strategically important until 2020. With sales down due to COVID, GoPro discounted its cameras and bundled them with a free trial of its subscription software. The hope was that a meaningful portion of these customers would choose to renew their subscription and generate even more revenue for GoPro. This was combined with a further emphasis on direct-to-consumer sales, rather than selling through retailers like Best Buy. Things seemed to be turning around for GoPro. By the first quarter of 2024, they had approximately 2.5 million subscribers. Subscription and service revenue reached $26 million for the quarter. That's an annualized pace of more than $100 million. But there was a problem. The main limitation was that GoPro's subscription funnel heavily depended on selling GoPro cameras. A strong SaaS company can usually grow users independently of a physical product, while GoPro could not. Fewer camera sales meant fewer potential subscription customers, and strong competition meant that fewer users were choosing to buy GoPro cameras. The subscription was also not necessary for consumers, since they could edit their videos with Adobe or use their own cloud service. GoPro reached about 2.5 million subscribers by early 2024, but growth had essentially stalled. By the first quarter of 2026, subscribers had declined 8%, while subscription revenue was roughly flat. At the same time, total quarterly revenue fell 26% and GoPro recorded an $80 million net loss. Nick Woodman's 2014 compensation package was worth more than the entire GoPro company today. In June 2026, GoPro officially told investors that there is substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue operating. This comes after weeks of searching for an acquisition partner. As of June 19th, GoPro hasn't gone under yet, but the writing is on the wall. The company has all but admitted defeat, and the business is a shell of its former self. GoPro made a great product for its time, but failed to innovate and offer other useful products besides cameras. Only time will tell if the GoPro brand will continue to survive. But GoPro isn't the only company that tried to milk their users with ridiculous subscriptions. A billion-dollar company tried to offer shady subscriptions to its customers, then got hit with the massive multi-million-dollar fine. So if you want to learn why creators are abandoning Adobe, click the video on screen.